Hey everybody, welcome back to Know the Odds. If you're a return listener to these videos, I just want to give you a genuine thank you for sticking with me. I know it's been a while. We took a little bit of a break there, but now that it's back to football season, I'm looking forward to giving you guys as much content as possible this year. In this video, we're going to cover my favorite 3 bets for week 1 of the NFL season, but I want to get a lot more videos out there as far as my experiences with betting on the NFL specifically, the lessons that I've learned over the past several years. So make sure that you check out the channel for that and more. Like I said, though, we're going to jump right into the top 3 bets for NFL 2021. I'm stoked, guys. Let's start with Jets against the Panthers. Keep in mind, I'm recording this on August 31st. Some of these lines might change. A couple of these are changing for the better, so now might be the time to jump in before it goes back the other way. But as breaking news comes out, as it affects lines, keep that in mind, guys. Last night, the Panthers were the 5-point favorites against the Jets. Today, they are 5.5-point favorites against the Jets. And that's a good movement for us because in this, we're going to take the Jets to cover the spread. That's favorite bet number 1. I'll tell you why. Both of these teams are brand new, essentially. It's interesting, and when I say interesting, I mean it's not really going to be that interesting. But Sam Darnold was a Jet, is now with the Panthers. Week 1, he's facing his old team, so we'll see how that plays out. But essentially, both these teams are brand new. The Panthers now resemble last year's Jets more than the Jets resemble the Jets right now, if that makes sense. I was never that impressed by Sam Darnold myself. A lot of people like him, but we have no results from his career so far. And there's no reason, in my mind, to expect any new results from him in the future. He wasn't making it work in New York. Odds are he's not going to make it work in Carolina either. I think the line is favored towards the Panthers because people like rooting against the Jets. The Jets were supposed to get the number 1 pick. Do you guys remember this last year? They were set to get Trevor Lawrence from Clemson, the number 1 pick, and then at the end of the season, they all of a sudden won 2 games. And everybody was like, what are they thinking? What's going on here? The Jets can't even win at losing. Like, do you guys remember that? So they didn't get Trevor Lawrence. They went with the other option. But people expect bad things from the Jets. And so I believe that Vegas has factored that into the lines here. I have no idea why Vegas would put such a high spread on a game like this. The average game in the NFL is won by 4 points. So when you get 2 below average teams playing against each other with a spread that's greater than that, you know there's some outlying factors that are being factored into the spread that Vegas is putting out, which makes this a great candidate for our first best bet of the week, Jets to cover the spread. Let's move on to best bet number 2. It's going to be the Dolphins against the Patriots. Again, last night on the 30th, it had the Patriots as the 3-point favorites. This morning, it went down to a 2.5-point favorite, mostly because of the breaking news this morning that Cam Newton was cut from the Patriots. And I'm not worried too much about that half point because even Vegas only thinks that Cam Newton was worth a half point. The Patriots are going with Mac Jones, and the Patriots didn't really have any good options. But I believe that they went with the worst of those 2 options. And I don't think that there's anybody out there that really believes that Mac Jones is a better quarterback than Cam Newton. Neither are that great. You just don't have much to base Mac Jones' career off of. The Patriots were motivated to get rid of Cam Newton, whether you agree with it or not, because of the vaccine drama that Cam Newton has been fighting for. He hasn't gotten the vaccine. Bill Belichick hates that, is a strong proponent of the vaccine, and he doesn't want his players being unprofessional in any way, doing something that might jeopardize them showing up to a game. That is without a doubt one of the main reasons for letting Cam Newton go. Whether you agree with it or not, it's It's okay. I don't really care. What I do care about is the line that Vegas is putting on this game. Now, I would have taken the Dolphins to beat the Patriots with Cam Newton starting. But with Cam Newton out and Mac Jones in, it's even better. If you can get a sports book that has it still at 3 points, plus 3 points for the Dolphins, that'd be great. 2.5 points plus spread for the Dolphins, though, is still good enough of a spread to make it a bet number 2 for week 1 of the NFL. So I suggest you get in on that, everybody. Third and final best bet that I have for you today, guys. Week 1, if you watch my other videos, I go into this deeper. Week 1's one of my favorite weeks to bet because it's rarely about how good the teams are and who they're facing. People bet on week 1, and when I say people, I mean the average bettor place their bets while they're being influenced by all the drama that has happened during the offseason. There wasn't a lot of drama that happened during this offseason, but whatever drama did happen happened between the Packers and a little bit between the Saints. I'm a Bronco fan, and all we heard about here in Colorado was how Aaron Rodgers is going to be suiting up for the Broncos this year. Spoiler alert, it was all drama. That never happened. I don't know who was pushing that story, but they wanted to make sure that everybody believed that Aaron Rodgers wanted out of Green Bay, that he was unhappy, he was going to get traded, it was a sure thing. Guys, none of this happened. It was all off-season drama. The Packers are still the same great team, very little changes from last year or the year before. They've been a great team for the last 4 or 5 years, and there's no reason to believe that they're going to be any different this year. But people don't think that when they place their bets. They think, oh, Rodgers wants out, he wants traded, there's going to be uneasiness in the locker room, they're not going to do well. Like, in order to be a good sports bettor, you need to leave the emotion and the drama out of it. The Saints, on the other hand, while it wasn't really drama, they've gone through a lot of changes. Drew Brees is retired. Jameis Winston is in. There's been a lot of changes. It's essentially a brand new team. They should almost change the name. But the thing that everybody's talking about most recently is that the Saints had a great preseason. Jameis Winston, at least, had a great preseason. And if there was ever a time to ignore what happened during preseason, it'd be this year. Nobody played their starters, and they were barely more than practices. That being the case, you should ignore everything that happened in preseason. I don't care about those 2 great touchdown passes that Jameis Winston made. Neither should you. The average bettor is not going to forget about those 2 great touchdown passes in preseason. They're going to factor that into their bet. And Vegas already is ready for it because they only have the Packers as 3-point favorites. It's going to be so much higher than 3 points. This game, from a numbers perspective, should be a complete beatdown of the Saints by the Packers, which is why the Packers covering the spread is my third, final, and most importantly, my favorite of the best bets of this week. So there you go. You got the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Packers, each to cover the spreads in their respective games. Those are going to be our 3 bets of the week for week 1. Guys, I'm so stoked for this season to get started. I can't wait. I'm so glad that you're here. Thanks for listening. All of our best bets are going to be posted on knowtheodds.net, and you can follow along with us as we keep score on how we're going to do this year specifically in the NFL. So go check us out on knowtheodds.net, and you can look up the best bets there. I'm super looking forward to doing this with you guys every week, so make sure that you come back and check out the channel. We'll try to get these videos posted by every Wednesday. So good luck, safe betting out there. We'll see you next week.